Yeah, I want to do this video. It's going to be kind of from a weird perspective, but I could do this on a different video that she's doing, but I feel I'm just going to do it on this one. So let's go.
Meet with an expert who will do them for you, so you can do your taxes.
Sorry about the commercial, guys.
Sorry, I'm one. What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to Morning Coffee Thoughts, where I give my unfiltered thoughts while I get ready in the morning. So before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell that we are going to be notified of my daily videos. Like the video on your way in, and yeah, do all that. So today I'm getting ready for a shoot. And guys, I just am not good at being a girl. Freaking hate makeup. I hate hair. I just do the best I can. It's like these horrible bags under my eyes because I don't sleep. Sorry, I'm whining. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about a question I got from one of my followers on Instagram. So if you guys have love questions, you are more than welcome to ask me. I might have the wrong advice. I might have the right advice. But this one I think is pretty straightforward. I don't even know why she was asking me this. I thought she was trolling. This girl asked me, I'm seeing a guy with 4 different baby mothers. He won't call us official, like a relationship. What should I do? So I asked her, I'm like, you know what, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Do you have kids? You know, like if she has 3 different baby daddies, well, 3 different baby mamas, that's not bad. You know what I mean? Okay, you know. So how many kids do you have? None. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, Chica. Okay. And what do you see in this guy? Is he super successful? Like, does he have a house? Does he have, 401k? Like, what do you... Well, no. Okay.
The first thing I wanted to say is it's interesting when it's really weird to me when men date women who have no children, but they have children. I don't understand I don't understand why they even consider women who don't have children. To me, it makes no sense. Just as a person looking in. Like, you guys live very different lives. One has several baby mamas. So he has at least 4 children. Because she said 4 baby mamas at first, so that's what I'm going by. At least 4 children. Probably more children. And you have no children. Like, don't you want to be with somebody that you have more in common with? And let's not even talk about the whole drama and the whole thing they talk about. Like, they talk about all sorts of problems that occur with men with children. So I never understand why men with children consider women who have no children. And to me, from my experience, I've seen this happen more often. As a woman with no children, I've seen more men who try or whatever with like women who have no children. And I never understood it. It's like, as a woman myself with no children, I've always felt like, you've got to be kidding me. But anyway, continue.
Shoot, I put this on, I forgot. Okay, so he doesn't have any of that, all right. Well, what do you see in him? Well, we vibe. Okay, you vibe? Aren't there other guys without, 3 different baby mothers that you could, I don't know, vibe with? But we... Okay, all right. How old are you? If she's like a 45-year-old woman, like maybe 20, I think she said 27, 28. So let me get this straight. You're childless, you're single, you're in your 20s, and you're wasting time with a dude with not one, not two, but 3 different baby mothers. Are there any other red flags that I should be aware of? Well, what do you mean, well, there's more? He went to jail. Oh my God. I don't know. I feel like this woman was trolling me. I was like, you have to be trolling. No, she sent a picture of them. Now, I'm going to do this. Is it possible that this woman was still trolling? Maybe. But I was just like, haram. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's like, now I don't want to hear shit about how, oh my God, I'm so bad at makeup. How many shit when this goes sour for you. I really don't. This is why I have no sympathy. You cannot tell me this was the only guy she could have dated. And I looked at her profile. She wasn't even fat. So she's single, childless, not fat. Now, look, she might have had other issues. Okay, fine. But you can't tell me that there wasn't a single guy she could have dated. So this is why, guys, a lot of times people say I'm harsh. I should have more empathy. How can I have empathy when you're dating a man with 3 different baby daddies? Not 1, not 2, but 3. I'm sorry, baby mamas. So then, lately I've been responding to my female followers. Okay? And I really have never sought out to be an advice channel. However, and I'm not saying I have a lot to learn in life. However, there's some things that are so basic. Like this one girl, she asked me about her Instagram profile. Now this girl, I would give a solid 7. She was hot. And she also, she also asked me, like, what do you think of my Instagram profile? I'm really looking to meet someone, whatever. So I look a little closer. Why? Okay, if you're looking, and I'm like, what kind of guy are you looking for? Hardworking, traditional, da-da-da-da-da. Tell me why this girl, I don't want to, I'm in short shorts. I'm getting ready, okay? I don't want to do that. But has a booty picture with her ass on the gram. What is he supposed to think? And now, ladies.
My thing is this. Generally, don't people always say that Instagram, like people on Instagram are like promiscuous or something, or that they're doing a whole bunch of stuff over there? I never really understood why people always try and say, like, look at the Instagram. If someone doesn't have Instagram, to me, wouldn't that mean that they're not involved in that? Someone could claim to be wholesome, but if they are like an Instagram whore, they could be doing something in the DMs, you know? So to me, I mean, like, the fact that they have one could kind of indicate something, in my opinion. Or at least, especially if you've seen that the login is really recent. But my point in this was not to talk about that. I just got a little bit more interested in more of what she was saying there. My thing was, I understand what she's saying when it comes to, like, nonsensical stuff. Like, for example, saying someone has 4 baby daddies. She said 4 at first and then 3 later. But, yeah, multiple baby daddies and you don't have kids at all. Or a situation where he's been in jail. Like, to me, there should be a minimum, no matter what, really. Well, unless you've been in jail or you have several baby daddies, then I can understand. I understand that. To me, I mean, like, everybody needs love, right? So the guy who's been in jail who has several baby mamas should probably find a woman with several baby daddies who specifically, has a situation where they specifically are maybe having problems like that, like going to jail and so forth, if they have similar commonality there, I would think that they were made for each other, basically. And everybody has somebody out there made for them, you know? But my thing is, personally, to me, I just think some things that she talks about are interesting to me, because it's like she'll try and say like that, if you are fat, if you are older, if you're in your 40s or whatever, that you might not want to look for someone who has money, for example. And, the whole idea of hypergamy, this has always been a reason why, for me, for one, living in a big city, living in Vegas, living in areas like that, you get a lot of people who have the expectation that females are hypergamous, basically. When I say hypergamous, I mean women want to be with men who have money. And they have this idea that women like men who are older too. And it's always the same old idea. So when you are a woman in your early 20s, when you are a woman who, for one, you're in your early 20s, you're not thinking about marriage. At least I wasn't thinking about marriage. I wasn't all emotionally connected to men like that, because it's like, I'm only in my early 20s. What are you talking about? Like, that's just weird to me. That was weird to me at the time, And I never really looked to men as far as money, like wanting money from them, because my thought process was, okay, if I were to accept money to specifically be in a certain type of relationship with a guy that was specifically a guy who could provide for me or whatever, then I am beholden to him to sleep with him. That's how I think, and I don't want to touch him. I don't want to look at him, and I don't want to smile at him. That's just the truth. And the reason why is because I'm not attracted to him, right? So to me, it was always like that. And then also the whole idea of older men usually would correlate with this. And specifically for me, I've always been attracted to men younger than me. I've never been attracted to men older than me. It's always a man who's half my age plus 7, basically. That's why when I was about 22, I basically liked people who were like 18, men who were like 18, and so forth. So like in my early 20s, I liked guys who were like 18 at the time. And how many 18-year-olds are loaded? How many 18-year-olds have a lot of money? Not many of them have a lot of money, and I didn't really care about them having money like that, But it would be interesting because people would always have this expectation that if you are a young woman who's skinny, who's in shape, who has a curvy body, like I wasn't curvy like a fat girl, I was skinny, like basically like a skinny girl who looks like she almost has bolt-ons, basically. Type of skinny girl, like, curvy, but like kind of top heavy or whatever. So I was visibly skinny. So I mean, like, I was within weight. I was young, skinny, all those traits, And I would always find that people would always think that you're looking to be hypergamous, you're looking to have money and stuff. And then also, it would always be problematic for men, because it would be like the men who are younger would always find it weird that I preferred them, because they would think like I'm supposed to like a different type of guy, because they would have this idea that women are hypergamous. They're looking for men who are basically, who have more money, who are older, who also they like to talk about alphas. I don't like alphas. I like more I'm not really attracted to masculinity. So a lot of the time, the type of man I'm attracted to would often act like I'm not supposed to be attracted to him, because they would think that he's basically a lesser type of man than the ideal man they're talking about. And so for me, it's always been like when people talk about the wall, it's always been to me like, well, maybe the wall is a good thing. But I don't know. To me, that's just how I see it. And it's weird to some people because they're like, I think they expect you to want the things that you said were preferential. Now, the thing is, when you're younger and you're saying that you're hypergamous and you're getting all these things that are supposedly good traits in a man, if you see them as all bad traits and you don't see that man as desirable and you want nothing to do with him, you don't want to touch him, you don't want to smile at him, you don't want to look at him, if that would give him any interest or give him any idea that you have interest in him, you don't even want to look at him, kind of situation. Then if that's your perspective of that man, then how is it a prize to be preferred by someone you do not want? And that's why for me, much of my early 20s, I didn't spend much time having much interest in men in that regard, because it was always like, the types that are ideal are not ideal to me, because I do not. And when I say older, by the way, I don't mean a 40-year-old man. I mean a man like, maybe I'm 23, he might be 28, 29, 30, maybe at the oldest. I've never been attracted to men older than me. So like, much of my life, even nowadays, my age preference would specifically not be the lucrative, the age period of which people say is more lucrative, basically. It would be a guy who's maybe just gotten out of college, maybe. Because twice, like half my age, basically, +7 is literally not even out of college. It's like barely out of 20, a little bit above 20, let's just say. So I mean, like, for me, that's my preference. I prefer like college age guys. They're slightly older than college age, maybe 22, 23, 24, something like that. And so to me, I mean, like, because of that, it's just like, I don't really like the idea that women are hypergamous, especially at younger ages, because the expectation men have of women is so different from the way I am naturally. And when that happens, that means that the closer you are to what they call the prime, the worse it is. The more they are saying you want an alpha man, a man who's going to dominate you, a man who has more money than you, a man who has power and all this stuff. I do not like thinking of men having more power than me, having more money than me, more, or gonna dominate me. Main reason I don't like those things is men already have physical strength over you. Why would I want him to have more power? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. This is a union, ideally, a union people search for is specifically a union where you are in a relationship with someone that can fail, right? Marriages fail all the time. And if I don't want to be so negative, but this is the reality of it. The reality of marriages, it can end very badly. There are documentaries, there are shows like Forensic Files and so forth that specifically show how men and women kill each other through marriage, because of marriage, and how they specifically, will want to kill each other because they want out of the marriage and so forth. They don't want the hassle of divorce, basically. Why would It's not why would specifically, it's more so okay, it is, why would I want to enter into a relationship with someone that has more power over me than just physical strength? It's bad enough. It's a gamble, let alone to be in a relationship with someone who it can end up like what I just said in a situation like that. And this person has more physical strength than you. So that means that physical strength can go against you. But like I said, there have been plenty of situations where women have done the same to men. So I'm not saying that it's just men who obviously do that to women. But it can go both ways. Why would I want them to have more power than me when it comes to those situations outside of just physical power? Because physical power is bad enough. Now they have all sorts of other types of power. You're saying monetarily, they have some kind of mental strength over me. They have all these different types of strength over me. I do not want them to control me more than that physical side of it. And I don't even want them to control me on the physical side of it. That's just a matter of they have more strength than me, and I'm attracted to people who are physically stronger than me. Even though, if you really pay attention to it, for me, I'm not attracted to muscles. I am not really attracted to men who are that big. I am attracted to men within 120 pounds to about 140 pounds. I will eke it up to 150, but yeah, I'm not attracted to men that are very big. And for me, that is a lot bigger than me, honestly, because I'm only 110 pounds at the most. I'm not really supposed to even be 110. I'm really supposed to be 100 pounds, but I go between 1 and 110. But my point is, I kind of find it interesting that people always talk about all these things that women are interested in men for. And then it's not even really true in my case, And to me, it's like if I were to enter into a relationship, a marriage, a long-term marriage, I'd have to be with a guy that I actually really like. Now that's through, personality. That's through, who I'm physically attracted to. Those two qualities would have to be very strong, especially the emotional side, not the physical side. I mean, physical is just the sexual side of it, being okay with them on a sexual sense. Otherwise, if I'm not, then I can't really think of touching them that way. But my point is that to me, I feel like compatibility is very important, much more than money, much more than hypergamy. And that's my thing. It's like people always talk about hypergamy. And, when I was in my early 20s, I felt like hypergamy was so annoying because I didn't understand it, didn't care for it, didn't want it. That wasn't anything that I was interested in. It's not my scene. I specifically find people who make a lot of money, men who make money, as uncomfortable because now you have more power over me. Now, I don't want you looking down on me, I want you on my level, and I don't like men living a lifestyle that is beneath me either. I do not like a guy, like I'm saying, who, for example, is going to jail or issues like that, issues with substance abuse, issues with the law, of course, having baby mamas or having children for any amount. If you have one child, if you have 10 children, I do not like that because it's like I don't live that life. So I should be able to expect that out of my partner, that he doesn't live that life. You know what I mean? It's to me, it's like it's a two-way street, and it should be a two-way expectation, and it should be an even leveled expectation, and not where he's looking down on me and not where I'm looking down on him either. So to me, it's just like I think we should live similar lifestyles, That to me is more compatible to me. And that would encourage me to want to be in a committed relationship with him. So to me, the whole hypergamous thing was always problematic because men never knew how I tick, how I prefer Ben, And many of the time, men will be very judgmental of women younger who are skinny, who are, who don't have anything like specifically wrong with them. They don't have children or any problems like that. They'll have that because they'll have a situation where they specifically are like, this is too good to be true. You should be with such and such doing da 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 da, right? And it's like, that's not me, Can I be an individual? Can a woman want what she wants without considering what another woman wants? Can we have individual preferences? We aren't robots. We are individuals and we desire different things. And I do not hold anything against a woman who is hypergamous and has that interest in men for money, power, or whatever is going on there. But personally for me, I want someone who's compatible, And to me, I feel like the wall is a little bit better because the older you are, the less people expect you to be hypergamic because they'll be like, oh, she's settling. And if you think I'm settling, maybe that's better because maybe you're willing to actually consider that this isn't like too good to be true. Maybe it's more realistic, And so to me, that's just something I've always thought is just like, the worse it gets, the better it gets, in my opinion. The better it gets, the more you win a prize that you don't even want. So then you end up completely like, I don't want anything if I can't get what I want, right? And I don't know, it's kind of like, many of the time, I've said this before, where men will specifically reject themselves. Because they'll say, you're supposed to be with such and such. You're supposed to do such and such. You're not supposed to be interested in someone younger than you. You're not supposed to be interested in someone who makes not that much money. Even if you don't make a lot of money yourself, it's weird. Because it's like, if I don't make a lot of money, can't I be interested in someone who makes about the same amount of money as I do? Like, I never got that in my early 20s. I mean, I always had a job in my early 20s, but I didn't make a lot of money, So you would think, if I don't make a lot of money, can't I be interested in people who have the same income bracket as me? But I felt like the expectation was to be hypergamous, And this is why I would always find that I would be propositioned for dates or whatever, asked out and so forth. And specifically, many of the time, I would just, not want anything to do with these guys because I wouldn't want that type of guy. I wouldn't be attracted to him. And if I'm not attracted to him, then I don't want him. Why would I lead on someone I'm not attracted to? It just doesn't make sense. And I think the theory is that if you are a woman who, is attracted to men who are younger than you and are on your income bracket, then the men that kind of approach you may not be quite your same, what you're actually interested in, when they kind of think that women like older, basically, or have more money, I don't know. That's just my experience. So, yeah, I just kind of feel like when people talk about the wall and stuff and talk about having children, gaining weight, it's like they get access to people who they say are less desirable. But many of the time, it's people that I actually find more attractive. At least, I don't like men who have a lot of money. I like men on my income bracket. What do I got to do to get that? If it was to specifically look less appealing, well, then that would be actually appealing for me. You get what I'm saying? But yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye, guys.